What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Excuse me. We are going to be doing a flight back home. It's going to be a nasty flight. It's real world weather from Chicago Midway on down back to home base of Springfield, Missouri, and in the TBM 850. Good news. We have officially released the instruments to a beta team that is with us. And hey, what's going on, Ghost Rider? Welcome back. And we have actually released those to them. We're going to give them a couple days to hammer through it. There's a lot of customizable different things that you can do with these panels, and setting them up and creating your own backdrops and panel layouts and everything else that kind of goes into this that we have fully customized. So I hope you guys will like them. I did look on VATSIM. Doesn't look like there's any controllers all the way home, so we're not going to be flying on VATSIM. But they Beyond ATC did put out a post, and they're getting closer to release. Let's put it that way. We are flying back home, Ghost Rider, and I know that you wanted to go fly to Nashville, which that's about an hour and 22-minute flight from here. It's a little long, so we're not going to do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and what were you doing in Chicago that long? Oh, we just had a couple meetings that we had to go to, and did a couple shows, and now we're got everything loaded and we're ready to head back. So let's go ahead and get back on into the cockpit, and let's get things going. So crash bar can come up, and generator can come up to main, battery can come on to battery, and we are producing over 25 volts. And we'll go ahead and turn our navs and our strobes on, and we can go ahead and bring her out of feather. And need to check one thing real quick before we get going. Alright, we are good to go. Alright, and so we've got all lights are on, navs are on, batteries on, and we'll go ahead and turn our boost pumps on. And we've got plenty of fuel, and fuel PS pressure is good, so we'll go ahead and turn the ignition to on, and starter can come on. And we're watching for 13% on the NG. And there's 13%. We'll go to low idle. Watch our ITT. And we're going to temp out about 902. It's quickly regressing, so, and there is our 50%. So go to high idle, and we can go ahead and starter can come off, and ignition can go to auto, and we can go taxi lights on, RMIs all come on, and we can go ahead and clear our master caution, and we can go to boost pump to auto, fuel selector to auto, and EFIS can come on, and we will go ahead and get us down to the fuel page, and fuel flow, AP masters can come on, and radio masters can come on. Safe travel setting home. Hey, thanks, man, I appreciate that. No, we actually did a real show in Atlanta, but we weren't in Atlanta, so yeah, so there's that. So let's get our GNS. It's not quite lined up, so we're gonna get the GNS lined up real quick. There's that, and we'll get our top. There we go. Alright, let's get our messages. We're all good there. Flight plan, and we're at Midway, and we're going to go back home to KSGF. And our departure is going to... Hey, of course, man. Appreciate you joining. I always enjoy streaming, so Alright, so we can go ahead and go to our departures, go to procedures, and we'll go to departure, and we're going to be departing with the midway. And let's go ahead and go back actually, and let's check what the weather's doing here. And get our weather data. So 3028. Get that set up. 3028. Appreciate you joining along, man. Makes it a lot more fun, that's for sure. Makes it a lot more fun. Yeah, let's how's that? Does that sound a lot better as far as the voice? Don't sound like I'm sick again when I'm really not. Alright, so we got the winds are out of the south at 210 at 11 knots. And so let's see what runways we've got. We'll probably use 22 left. So we'll be departing from 22 left, low procedure. And will be the departure. And my departure is going to be the midway. Runway 22 left. Transitions, none. And there we go. Direct to Springfield. Perfect. I love it. Alright, so we're all set to go there. And go ahead and get our inertial separator is turned on. Flaps are set to 10. And we can go ahead and get our bleeds turned on. Air conditioning comes on. That comes on to fan only. And our cabin temp is 38 degrees, so we're going to go ahead and turn that up just a bit. And other than that, we are all good. Alright, we can get our altitude set. And we're going to go all the way up to... Yes, my family would be happy to see me. And we're going to go up to... We're flying back to the west, so that would be evens. Let's check the winds aloft. And looks like we're going to have a little bit of a headwind, so we're going to go ahead and do flight 180. We're going to stay a little lower, just so we can get underneath all these winds, and we'll still be in A. Possibly. So we'll go ahead and flip over to GPS. And there's our GPS, so let's go ahead and taxi and get on out of here. Parking brake's coming off. Alright. Well, have you had a nice couple days? Clear left. And clear right. Take a right here. And we'll take this all the way down to 22 left. Looks clear out there. Let's get back on center line here. Yes, they did miss me there. We are ready to be home, that's for sure. So, looks clear here. Looks clear down final. And I bet we're going to run into some icing as it is cold outside. Got everything turned on. See lights. Everything's looking good. You've been to Chicago? Been coming here? And looks like right up here is the old short line, so come up here. Old short here. And we'll go ahead and go taxi lights on. Landing lights are off. And we'll go ahead and turn our pitot heats on. Windshield heats can come on. Airframe can come on. And prop de-ice. We're going to need all the de-ice that we can get. Inertial separator stays on. Flaps are set to 10. Pressurization, let's go ahead and get that down to 18,000 plus 500. So there's 18,500. Everything else looks good. And here we go. It's ready for takeoff. Gyros are good. Flight controls are free and correct. Clear out front. Not too much. You can watch every stream with me here, big guy. Alright, it's going to be a nice cloudy departure. Alright, here we go. Takeoff power is set. Lots of right rudder. Hold the center line. Airspeed's alive. Engine instruments are green. There's 80. And rotate. Tap the brakes. Gear coming up. And passing through 120, flaps come up, yaw dampener comes on. And we're off, yep. Still snow on the ground out there. And there's MenQ. And so we can go flight plan, we can go direct Springfield, activate, and we can go ahead and start our turn out to the left. Watching them instruments. As we get up above the glare of clouds. And we're still hand flying it. It's always kind of fun to hand fly. Keep practicing. And there we go. So we'll sync up our heading bug here. Climbing up through 160 through 5,000 for 18,000. we'll go ahead and turn our autopilot on, hit nav mode, and we're going to pitch on up a little bit, and we'll go ahead and hit our vertical speed. Climb out at 3,000 feet per minute. Watch that airspeed bleed off to 140, and then we'll turn on indicated airspeed. Watching that airspeed. Once we get to 140, which is right there, go ahead and put it in IAS mode, indicated airspeed mode, and cabin temperature is pressurizing, and our cabin temp inside is 74 degrees, so we are doing just fine. Climbing through 9,000. Yeah, no joke. This thing climbs like a missile, man. We're already up through 10,000 feet in the air. Just taking off, so. And we're gonna go ahead and pull the torque back. Pull back to about 95. And we'll go ahead and flip on into 850 mode. And we're in 850 mode. See a rise in the torque. Now we can go ahead and turn off our inertial separator. And now we can go ahead and advance the throttles on up past 100% torque. That looks all good. Got a little bit of clouds that we're kind of going through, so have to kind of watch that. We'll go ahead and turn off the airframe de-ice, prop ice, and we'll leave our windshield heaters on, and we'll leave our pitot heat on, and we'll change the CDI, GPS, as we take off. Let's go ahead and get some music going. Yes, I usually stream Monday nights, trying to come up with more of a schedule, so it'll be Monday nights, and it'll also probably be one other night. I'm thinking it'll probably either be Thursdays, will be the other night. So I normally stream on Monday nights though. Alright, so let's go ahead and go on over to the camera view, kind of show you guys what the panels ended up kind of looking like. As you can see that these are all the instruments that we have made. Everything is pretty much done at this point, and we released them to our local friends for beta testing on our Discord, and hopefully in the next couple days we'll be able to work through the bugs if there is any, and we'll be able to release those to the public. So soon to be coming. Just a couple more days. correct on that. KSGF, enter, and activate. And there's our 18,000, so we'll go ahead and switch on over to standardized. 1,000 to go. And we're above 18,000, so we'll go ahead and turn off our landing lights. Oxygen is on, pressurization is good. Cabin is at a altitude of 2,500 and a PSI of about 5.8. So pressurizing just fine. Getting a little toasty in here. We're at 76 degrees. So we'll give that down just a little bit. Bring it back down. And there's our 18,000. We'll level off here. Man, just a beautiful sim, that's for sure. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We will have some precipitation. It is currently raining here. It is actual rain and not freezing rain, so we should be good with icing, but time will tell, and we will see what happens. We might have to go mist, and if we do, then we'll pick up and we will head on over to Kansas City. We've got plenty of fuel to be able to do that, so happy I'm in a good mood. Man, I'm never in a bad mood, man. It takes a lot to make me in a bad mood. I get to stream. I get to fly airplanes. Like, how could you be in a bad mood when you get to do that? And I got Ghost Rider to talk to, so doesn't get any better than that, man. All right. How's the music? Can you even hear it? There we go. How's the volume levels there, Mr. Ghost? Here, all right. Sounds good? Good. So are you watching from a phone, or are you watching from a iPad? You watching from TV? What are you watching from? Or your computer? Watching from the TV. Awesome. Alright, cruise power is set. Everything looks good overhead. And we are cruising along on our way. Nice and big, yeah. show you guys a little sneak peek of something I made earlier today. Made that today. It's not finished yet, but made that after work. Took me about 20 minutes to make that, but get some final touches on it, get some textures put on it, and get everything lined up, and then be set to go with the landing gear. Some haunted show. That doesn't sound fun. But to each their own. You like scary movies, then enjoy. I do not. Changing up some of the getting ready for snacks and a soda. There you go. I love it. Everything's looking just fine. Cruising at 18,000 feet. Yeah, watching some flying. I love it. Love flying. Everything's looking just fine. We are well on our way. We are going to want to probably shoot an approach into Springfield, so we'll go ahead and let's take a look at our flight plan, and we'll go ahead and look at what the weather is doing here. Waypoint info, and we've got 3007 on the altimeter, and wind is south-southeast at 150 at 12 knots. Visibility is 6 statute miles. Light rain, mist. Temperature is 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Dew points 36. Few clouds at 700, broken layer at 3,300, overcast layer at 5,000. So we are going to have to shoot an approach. So we'll go ahead and plan on. Excuse me. Plan on the ILS 14, and we will do vectors because we will vector ourselves. And we will go ahead and load that approach, and we will go direct Beverly and activate direct Beverly. And there we go. And at Beverly, let's go ahead and pull up the chart here and select. And we don't want that. We want approaches. Select an approach. We want the ILS 14. And we'll go ahead and go full screen. And this is our approach plate. Go ahead and switch on over to the camera view. Camera only, show you what I'm looking at. Well, it's kind of washed out, so that won't work. So let's go ahead and pull up our old handy dandy Navigraph charts. Pull that up for you. Alright. And runways available, and we're going to do add to route. And let's go to later. We'll do the nope. And we want to go to approach ILS 14, and let's take a look at that. Alright, so we'll start at the top. It is KSGF Springfield Branson Airport, Springfield, Missouri. ILS localizer runway 14. ATIS is going to be 135125. Approach will be 124.95. Springfield Towers 119. Grounds 121.9. And our frequency is going to be, sorry, and our frequency is going to be 109.7, which is already loaded. Final approach course is going to be 139 Reeves at 2900, 1517 on the decision altitude. Height above the ground is 257. Airport elevation is 1268. Touchdown elevation is 1260. So we got an 8-foot incline. What time will I be back home? Let's see. Got about. Let's go back to flight plan. And let's go to calculate. We want to be at 3,000. We'll do 2,900. Enter. And 1 mile before Beverly. And we've got about, we'll be home in about an hour and 10 minutes. Got some extreme big headwinds up here, so that's why it's a little later. Alright, so missed approach, we're going to climb to 1,800 feet straight up, and then we'll make a left turn, climbing to 2,900, direct to the Springfield VOR and hold. And with this hold, it'll be a parallel entry. And any NOTAMs or special things, helicopter visibility, we don't need that, it's not us. And that's all good. This is a overview, top down looking down. So 910, yeah, about 910. And so this is where we'll be coming in. We'll be coming in from the north up here. We'll come into Beverly, and we'll make our left inbound turn to the ILS, fly down to the approach. And then here's the side view of it. So we'll come into Beverly on approach course of 139 at 2,900. At Reeves, we'll intercept the glide slope. Then we'll follow the glide slope all the way down. And here is our ground speed and knots. So we'll fly it at 100. In between 100 and 120, usually about 100. I try to fly at about 100. Depends on the winds. If the winds are stronger, I'll fly it a little faster. So 2 minutes and 49 seconds. MSFS is what we're going to be looking for. Runway in lights and PAPI lights. And then we got 1,800 for a short version of the missed approach. Quickly look at 1,800, left turn 2,900, direct Springfield VOR. And these are our minimums. Straight in landing, 3/4 of a mile visibility, which we have 6, so we're good there. And decision height is 1517, so I said 700 feet was broken, so we will be fine. We'll be about 400 feet underneath the clouds, and then we should be able to see us. So that will be our approach. It's a little far out to be briefing that. Usually brief that a little bit closer as you start your descent, but we'll just go ahead and get it briefed and kind of talk about that for now. So With these panels, though, we've put a lot of work into these. Todd especially. Todd, I think, has got over 80 hours of just coding, getting all these instruments done properly. And so it's nice to be able to get them out to some local friends to be able to test them out, see what they think. So far, the reviews that we've been getting back and the feedback we've been getting has been very, very good, very nice. So we are very proud of these. These are one of our special ones that we really enjoyed building. I know Todd has really put in a lot of heart and soul into it, so I always do appreciate him. Thank you. And just for fun, we can go on down here, and we'll switch on over. And so we can go down here, and we can put in, just for fun, into the backup. We can go to 109, which our VOR for Springfield is 116.9. I know that just from flying here all the time. And we can go ahead and switch that on over to the active frequency. Go back up to our comms. I appreciate you saying that. You're pretty nice to join the streams and follow along and watch, so I do appreciate that. Trying to get the trims all set up properly here. That's looking better. Ground speed is only 250 knots. Remember when we were flying up here and we were getting like 400 knots ground speed? Yeah. Well, we've got a 39 knot headwind right now. That's why I chose a little bit lower altitude. exactly sure what's going on with the trims here. I'm not sure what's going on with them. She's wanting to fly a little bit to the right, so we're just going to have to kind of help her a little bit here. So I have voted, and yes, I have flown a real plane in real life. Do any of you guys fly this on PC or Xbox? Which one is your choice? Hey, take it easy there, Ghost Rider. Appreciate you stopping by, bud. Thanks. That could be our next poll. What do you think? Next poll could be, do you fly this on PC or do you fly this on Xbox? Let's upload a short, show you guys what these panels really look like. You can see me filming it down there. Just doing a little filming, little shorts. This is where we're at on the map. So we're flying on home. Starting to get into a little bit of icing, so we've got the windshield on. We'll go ahead and turn our prop de-ice on. Airframe de-ice is on. Just got it all de-icing. The windshield's starting to freeze up just a little bit. As we start to get a little bit closer down to Springfield, might have a little bit of precip out in front of us that we might have to try and navigate around, but we'll see. Looks to be doing just fine. Looks like it's about 30 miles off, but it's light precipitation. I don't mind flying through light precipitation. Everything's looking just fine. Oxygen's good. Oxygen levels are good. Boots are firing. There's the inner. Outer's going away. Pretty cool how that works. Pretty cool how that works. Huh. We're just cruising along here, 18,000 feet. Enjoying So these new panels will be out in the next couple days. We do have a README that will be coming with them, as we'll kind of just show you guys, since we're just up here in cruise, kind of pull these down and kind of explain some of this a little bit to you guys, so you guys can have a little bit better understanding of what I'm talking about. So these are the panels. You'll build them however you see fit. We will kind of give you the guys these dimensions of what we currently have set up for these for a 1080p monitor. But you do have these, so you go into added instrument, you'll go into type in 850, those will pull up all of the black square 850 ones that we do have. So you'll have these panels down here that will kind of, that's, you know, kind of the hardest part about setting these up is these panel selections. So panel selection no pop outs, panel selection or panel section 1 pop out, and then panel section 2 pop outs. Obviously this is one big section for my monitor, how I have it set up. and I just have one pop out, which is the engine trim down at the bottom here. So that's something that you'll want to kind of read through, and that's one that we are kind of actually building, and we're building the README so that way you guys can kind of understand it. So that'll be the hardest part, is getting those set up how you guys want. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out. We will probably come up with a frequently asked questions page, so that way you guys know what to expect. And so, but these are all the panels. They do have inside of here all these different panel selections. You've got just user properties galore of what you want, whether it be dark gray. You can select tan, dark chocolate, espresso, light gray, mid gray, dark gray, black as far as the color. And you can, as far as texture level, you can have it smooth, you can have it light, you can have it hammered, you can have it speckled hen, however. And then the patina level, as far as, you know, how much is there, the overlay of it. You got showroom, like new, frequent flyer, rental. So you've got thousands of different opportunities. And then this is the hold width of what you need to cut out. That is all 100% customizable. So you can basically set where you want the screen to be cut out and the panel to be able to show through if you're using pop-outs. This will be the biggest hurdle, I think, for most, is getting this part set up. But as far as running some of the different things, there's not much to them. HSI mask stream with EVA switch power, and you know, there's just the normal stuff that you have. Altimeter, generic mode. If you're flying it, you know, you want to use the same altimeter for a different airplane, but it's just a generic one. It's not the actual TBM. You can click generic mode and it'll switch over. You can even change the display color of the numbers that pop in there. You can do mellow yellow, you can do 80s orange, you can do white. 80s orange will be more like the VSI, and white will obviously be white. I try to keep it as true to what the cockpit is. So they are the mellow yellows. So, and then you have your torque gauges, all the different gauges. This you can even put in here where the touch spots are, so that way it'll highlight, put a little piece of box around where you actually can touch. If you want to see those, you can turn those on, turn those off just by user properties. So a lot of user properties. One of the biggest user properties that we've released with the panel set. That's basically kind of all what we've kind of been working on. Todd has been going ham with the user properties and being able to allow people to set up kind of however they want to set it up, and kind of was the inventor of all that. So makes it a lot nicer when they're on your panel. So check out the short. I did create just a short just a minute ago that you guys can see and watch on the channel, and uploaded that. So if you guys want to see what they look like on my screen, you are welcome to go check that short out. And it's kind of nice. Our starting to freeze up our windows just a little bit as we start to kind of go through some icing. cruising along. Well, there's not much to talk about really, but just kind of looking, seeing what we need to do about either dodging the storm, moving around just a little bit. Right here over at Jefferson City, we'll probably deviate just a little bit and get around this red cell out in front of us. So we're going to go ahead and go into heading, and we will turn ourselves to We're going to deviate probably 10 degrees. Go a little more than that to the right. So we'll go into heading mode. And let's deviate ourselves just a little bit. Try and get out away from these storms here. Everything's nice and froze up. We do have all of our prop de-ices on. For some reason in the virtual cockpit it doesn't work, but it is on. Airframe de-ice is on. And yeah, there we go. Breaking off the ice. Gonna fly off to the southeast or southwest here, kind of get away from this red cell out in front of Jefferson City. As we're already back down to Jefferson City, back in Missouri. Yeah, we can kind of pull up the Navigraph and kind of show you about where we're at. So we are down in here now. There is St. Louis. And so, wonder if there's no way to. Wonder if you could pull up the radar on Navigraph. Maybe you can. Not too familiar with Navigraph. More familiar with. So right here is Jefferson City, and there's just a big red cell that's kind of like right here. You guys probably can't see that, so we'll go into. You guys can't quite capture my cursor, but right here in the center of the screen here, you can kind of see this is Jefferson City here. There we go. There's Columbia and Jefferson City's down here. So there's just right on the edge here. There's like a big red cell, and then it's just orangish back in here. So we're gonna go out this way, kind of go over Columbia, and then head south down here towards Springfield. This is what we've got. We're gonna be flying directly into Beverly, left turn inbound to Reeves. Which is our final approach fix, and we'll get all that as we get a little closer. So right now we're out here in Vandalia, coming up just before we get to Mexico. So and when you're slowing it down just a little bit, we're going to go ahead and got our inertial separator turned on. Just waiting for that light to pop on. Probably should have put this on a little earlier, so we don't get any. There we go. Inertial separator is on. There we go. Now we're set back up for cruise. Not much really going on right now. It's kind of hard to see inside the clouds. Cabin temperature is still 74. Pressurization still looking good. And range looks like got a little bit of moderate precipitation out in front of us. I'm alright with that. Be nice to get up out of these clouds, but I think we'll be able to do that here pretty soon. Then in the next, say, probably 50 nautical miles we'll be getting out of this. And we can go ahead and take our heading, and we can turn ourselves back a little bit more, back closer on course, as we just kind of zoom in down here. We could probably technically get up a little bit higher, get up above these, but I think we're doing just fine. If you got a question or something that you'd like to see about any of these TBM panels, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you, as these will be going live in the next couple days. We do have them released to the beta testers that we have, and they are the ones that's testing them right now, as well as myself, to make sure everything is working before we release them to the public, because the last thing we want to do is release something and then it not work as intended. So that would not be good. Inertial separator is on. As you guys can see, the radar is nice and red out there. That's that spot I was telling you about. It looks like it's kind of starting to break up a little bit, but just a little cell down there just south of Jefferson City. Try to stay out of that red. So hopefully get us out of this icing here soon. Keeping an eye on the boots. And they are still going, still breaking up that ice. Looks like we're going through a nice little dark patch now. Kind of see the tops. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and see about climbing, and we're going to climb on up to, let's go up to 22,000, and let's go ahead and set our pressurization to go ahead and climb to 22,000, and we'll go ahead and arm that, and we will go ahead and BS that, and we'll just start doing 1,500 feet per minute. And see if we can't climb up and get up above this real quick. So I'd really enjoy it if we could get up above this and get over that red cell, because that red cell keeps looking like it's expanding back to the west. So we are still in heading mode, kind of vectoring ourselves around these storms here. Typically you coordinate that with ATC before you started doing anything, so see the blue skies up there? And our outside air temperature is -8 degrees Fahrenheit. We've got 1,000 to go. There we go. Everything's looking good. Now we could probably go direct. Beverly, activate direct, and we'll go back into nav mode, and that'll take us direct in Beverly, and hopefully we'll be up above all this and can get around it. It's a nice thing about the TBM is it's got great climb performance. You can get up above a lot of this stuff, and it's still fast. Still fast. Thanks for all the work you guys do on the instruments. Brand new air manager users just getting started with it. Oh well, hey, no, not a problem, man. Glad you stopped by. Thanks for leaving the comment in the chat. Appreciate it. And yeah, we're excited to release these. These will be coming out in the next couple days. We do have just released them today to the couple beta testers that we do have. Myself, Todd, and Crunch, and a couple other guys that we released them to for them to test it out and walk through as a fresh pair of eyes on them, so that way we can double check to make sure everything's working as intended. And so this is our first one that will have a lot of user properties to where you can change and customize a lot of the different instruments on the fly, just with making a change and then turning the light switch off, the light bulb off, and then re-showing the panel, and it'll make the change on the fly for you. So we're excited to release these. It's been a lot of work, but this is my favorite airplane of all airplanes, so that's why we put a lot of work into this. So version 1 will just be the daytime version, and then Todd has actually already started working on getting the secondary nighttime versions with the panels, and be able to fly them if you fly at night, it'll all be dark. So but yeah, that's what's coming up, and we're excited to release these. We're excited to get them out into the users' hands, and hopefully you guys enjoy them just as much as we do. But again, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for leaving a comment. And so let's go take a look at our VNAV, see when we need to start our descend on down. So it looks like we've got about 14 minutes, and we'll start our way down to home as we're flying back from Chicago back to our hometown, Springfield, Missouri, from where we're from. And look at that, we can see out the panel now. Just getting up above these, and all nice above these clouds as we get ready to literally go back and in front of us, so that'll be nice. Going back into them. I'd vote on the poll, but unsure how. Fair enough. Oh, okay. You got the Bonanza. Yeah, I don't have the Bonanza. This is the first Black Square product that I had purchased, and so yeah, they do a pretty good job. I really enjoy flying the TBM. Very excited to see what Southwest SimWorks Studios does with their 850. But man, this one flies just and does everything that I would want it to do. So, especially with the full suite of instruments that we have. So, here I'll kind of show you around a little bit since you're just joining the stream. But these are kind of what they look like on screen, and you've got basically pretty much everything inside the cockpit that you see here is pretty much, we have everything. Only thing we don't technically have is the landing gear yet. We don't have these test switches here, and we don't have the trims panel here, and then I think that's it. The rest of it we do have, except for these free slave clockwise and counterclockwise, we don't have that. But other than that, we have everything else that's inside of the virtual cockpit panel. So Twitch viewer, okay. Yeah, no, the polls work. I ended the poll a little while ago, but basically the poll was, have you ever flown a real airplane in real life? And check, all you had to do was just click on yes or no, and it was just a click. But yes, we do have the onboard weather radar that does work. So here I can switch over to that and kind of show you down here. So you do have, I have a Knobster, so you can click on the little top right button. You can see that it flashes yellow. My Knobster you can't quite see in the camera, but it is down here, and you can switch it between all the different systems that it has on there. So this is the on, and then let's say that you want to range out to a shorter or a longer profile. As far as distance, it'll do it all for you. So yes, we do have the radar that is working. It does require the pop out, so you will have to pop out the HSI, the attitude indicator, and the engine trend right there, and obviously your GPS of choice, whether it be the TDS or the PMS, and then I pop out the radar screen as well. So you will have to pop those out, but yeah, other than that, it's I get pretty good frame rates. I run a 4K 150-inch monitor. Normally I run what screen size? So the two main screens are 22 inches. These two here, this one's a 22, that one's a 22. Then I have a 15.6 inch, and then straight up above me, here I can take the camera and pan it up there for you. But up above, I do have another 15.6, which is an actual overhead panel. So that I use for the overhead. And then I use just track IR for the head movement. Typically I normally do, I have the 3 TVs, so usually if I'm not streaming on YouTube, then I will run all 3 TVs to have a 180-degree view of the cockpit, which is always a lot of fun, but it uses a lot of resources, and so to be able to run all of that and stream doesn't usually give me good frame rates. So So are you interested in doing general aviation, or are you interested in doing airliners? What's your kind of cup of tea there, Moto Flight? Gotcha. Yeah, we do have a very similar setup. I got 3 50-inch TVs, but right now just running one of the 4Ks. But 55 is a good screen real estate and good size TV. Let's check on our descent. I can see it on the screen, so we've got about 8 minutes, and we will start our descent on down. It looks like we've got plenty of fuel. We've got, it looks like about 35 in the right tank, and then we've got about 28 in the left tank, so. And we are burning on the right tank, which is the fuller tank, which is good. Kind of see the ground there for a second over on that side. So you say you got Air Manager, so I can start flying GA, IFR. I've had a mix of DIY panels to try and make using avionics easier, but I've never been happy with it. I'm always using the mouse too much. I'm ready for World VFR Pilot. Nice. Are you planning on going and getting your instrument? You planning on just sticking to your private, or what are you planning on doing? What do you plan on doing with all your ratings? IFR is a lot of fun. It's a little different flying than instead of being able to see where you're going and see what's going on, you don't get to you get to see what I see, just a bunch of white puffy clouds. Well, this will be shooting an approach here in IFR conditions, so according to the ATIS, let's go ahead and double check that again, but the ATIS did tell us earlier that, oops, and flight plan, ASGF, waypoint info, and weather, let's see if it's changed much. 3006 is the altimeter, and 6 statute miles of visibility, light rain, temperature 3, dew point 2, broken layer at 600 feet, broken layer at 2800 feet, overcast layers at 3700 feet. So we will be having to shoot an approach on into Springfield here, shooting the ILS approach. this is 100% true. But that's pretty cool, flying experimentals. That'd be kind of fun to do. But yes, I agree with you. It seems like every time I want to go fly, it's here lately in Missouri, it's been flying into icing weather, which I won't do in a Cessna, so technically it's illegal to do that anyway. But yep, I hear you. Weather is usually a deterrent from getting to fly a lot of times. But I can tell you, whenever you do get your IFR, you get to see these views in the real life, in the real world, and it's pretty fun to be flying up through this stuff, that's for sure. Makes for a lot more fun, that's for sure. But it also adds another stress level to flying, not being able to see where you're going, so. It looks like we've got about 4 minutes and we'll start our descent on down. And currently we would need a 1,000 feet per minute descent rate to hit our targets, to hit our target altitude of 2,900 at Beverly. Central Illinois, yeah, I used to fly down to KSET to volunteer at the CS. Nice, very nice, yeah, Central Illinois. You're getting some icing up there. Alright, well, we're getting ready to start our descent on down, so we'll go ahead and getting things set up for that. So we'll need to go down to 2,900. Yeah, you guys got hit pretty heavy. Yeah, so did we. We got, basically, the town shut down for a while. So we're going to go ahead and set our altitude down to 2,900. There's 2,900, and we won't arm it just yet. But we will get ready for that, get ready for our pressurization to go ahead and set that to our touchdown elevation plus 500, which is be right around 2,000 feet. And that's what happens when Air Manager crashes. Alright, we've already got that set, so we'll go ahead and hit arm, and we'll go ahead and VS that on down. little technical difficulties here. My son came down here yesterday and needed a iPhone charger cord for his new iPhone USB-C, so he unplugged some of my touchscreens, and I have a very delicate way of having to run power with running 4 Knobsters and 4 touchscreens, so it's the power management is not quite all there. So there's 2,900 feet. We'll push in for VS, and we're going to go on down at 1,500 feet per minute. And on down we go. And we're starting our descent on down. And we'll go ahead and cut the music and get a stereo cockpit as we start to come on down. And we'll go ahead and set our pressurization on down to cabin altitude of 2,000. As we start to depressurize, and we can go ahead and slowly start pulling our torque back, and we can go ahead and come on out of 850 mode and check our messages. Alright, sorry about that. I was trying to see if I could figure out how to fix the issues that we had, but with the touchscreens, but don't know if I was able to get her fixed or not. Alright, coming on down, descending through 15,000. And got a nice little icing over the windshield as we descend on down to the fun stuff. Are the panels all using Air Player? No, sir. I have Air Manager running, and so here is my Air Manager that's running on the actual PC. I don't have anything using Air Player. Everything is hooked to the computer and is using the Air Manager 4.22. And as we come up to 10,000 feet, we'll go ahead and flip on our landing lights with our pulse lights. And since we are getting some precipitation, we'll go ahead and turn our ignition on over to on and stay on. Pressurization is good. Cabin altitude is 2,000. The PSI of 4 as it's slowly starting to descend. Coming up through 11,000. So we're starting to kind of come through the clouds here. We do have the nav set up for 109.7, which is our frequency for the ILS. Once we get to Reeves, we will get lined up at the runway. Approach course, remember, if anybody remembers, was 139. So we'll get that set up. And once we get to Beverly, so we'll be at 2,900, and then once we get to Reeves, that'll be our final approach fix, and this one we'll pick up our vertical, and we will follow the glide slope all the way down. Now that we're starting to get below the clouds, hopefully some of this ice will start to melt off. Do have our inertial separator on, and ignition is on and illuminating. We are still getting some precip, and our outside air temperature right now is plus 29 degrees Fahrenheit, plus 30 degrees. Don't see how that's accurate, but we'll go with it. 73 degrees inside the cabin. Yeah, I'm going to say that's minus 31 degrees Fahrenheit. because it's, well, no, it'd be 30. Yeah, so it's 0 degrees Celsius outside, so yeah, it'd be 32 degrees Fahrenheit, so right at the freezing mark. Coming down through 8,000 for 2,900. Torque has been pulled back to about 90, slowing us down just a little bit, and our barometric pressure was 3006. So we've got 3006. Let's take one more last look at the weather here. And the touchscreen decided to stop working. So I'll have to use the mouse for this, for the touchscreen, because it's not working right now. And I'm not sure why. Waypoint info. Yeah, 3006. So we are good there, and we got a nice look at the ground there as we're starting to come in to the Missouri Springfield area. Looks like we got a nice little heavy shower over top of Springfield right about now, so should make for an interesting descent on another runway. Plenty of fuel. We're on the right tank now, correct? So we're on the fullest tank as we descend and start to head back into the precipitation. Hopefully, there we go, we're at 41 degrees Fahrenheit, which is good. So hopefully that'll keep the ice off. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the anti-icing on just to be on the safe side. Last thing we want to do is start collecting ice as we're starting to get low and slow. That would not behoove of us. As you can hear, the raindrops are starting, and you can see the raindrops blowing off the side of the airplane and the windows. So good thing we got our ignition on. Everything's looking just fine. Keeping an eye on all of our instruments here, making sure our airspeed's good. Send it down through 4,500. And looking at the attitude, VSI still reading and give us the same thing at 1,500 feet per minute. We are still on course. As we start getting a little bit closer, we got about 9.5 miles till we get to Beverly. And we've got 1,000 to go. Looks like we got some light precip over top of the airport and the airfield. And we are going ahead and still using our de-ice as we start to level off here at 2,900. Watch that horizon start to slowly creep up. There we go. And we'll go ahead and start slowly bringing us back. We'll set the power to about 70 on the torque. Level it off still here at 2,900. VSI is giving us that same reading of 0 feet per minute. Airspeed starting to bleed off at 190, coming back to 180. Fuel flow is about 50 gallons. We do have plenty of fuel. We are on the right tank, just to verify right tank. Don't need any flaps just yet. As once we get to Beverly, we get lined up at the runway, we'll go ahead and flip on over to our localizer to start picking that up. We do have it already marked and identified as IG or ILS glide slope runway 14. So we already have that identified. You can identify that by right up there in the top right of the nav. It says ILS GS runway 14, which is the correct runway that we want to be shooting the approach for. That's what we were anticipating. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of our messages here. Everything's looking just fine. Radar's looking good. And we'll slowly start our inbound turn in 876, and we'll go ahead and zoom on in on our map down here. Should give us a better idea. And we'll go ahead and, now that we're turning on inbound to our 139, go ahead and take our heading, set up to 139 so we know that we're flying the right heading, or at least flying down the runway. Still maintaining our altimeter setting of 2880. Remember, our minimums for this is 1517 on the altimeter. If we don't have the runway, we will have to go missed. It looks like we've already switched on over to localizer. It's been identified, and we do have green needles. And the localizer starting to come on in. Of course, it's set to 139, and it has captured the localizer now as we start our flight on in. And then remember, once we get to Reeves, is going to be our decision, or our glide slope. So just flying along right now, we're going to go ahead and start slowing us back. We'll bring us on back to about 55 on the torque. That looks good. We're about 52. It's fine. I'm alright with that. Get rid of our messages. GPS, I know that we switched on over. And we are just monitoring these gauges down here. Engine instruments all look good. Oil pressure is looking good. Everything's looking good. No cast messages or no annunciator panels that are lit up. Glide slope is slowly starting to work its way down. And we'll go ahead and below 178 we can go flaps 10. Set our flaps to 10. Flaps are set to 10 and indicating. And we'll go ahead and start bringing on that power on back to about 40 on the torque. And there's our glide slope. We'll go ahead and go gear down and pitch on down as we really start to slow down with that gear that really brings in the drag. And we're at 2900. And landing lights are on, pulse lights are on. Starter and ignition is all good. Everything's good. Pressurization is good. We're at 2000 as far as our cabin up pressure, which is good. Got some runway or some ground contact down there. And we're going to go ahead and take off the autopilot. And we will hand fly her in. And we'll go ahead and turn yaw dampener off. And we've got the runway out there in sight. 2 white, 2 green, or 2 white, 2 red. Good there. $500 to go. Getting a little low, introducing some fuel or introducing some power. Now we're way low, so gonna really put in some power. Remember, as you're flying, power is your altitude, pitch is your airspeed. And there is our minimums. And back to flight idle. And just keep flying her down to the end of the runway. Leading off that airspeed. And touch down nice and softly. And we don't need to worry about the beta, because we're going to roll on down here to the end. And we can go ahead and bring flaps up. And welcome back home, Springfield. And we're going to go on down here and roll down here to the end of the runway to November. So we just got a straight shot on into back to our hangar. And here's runway 2002. Everything looks clear there. And we can go ahead and turn off our pulse lights. And landing lights can come off. And welcome back home to Springfield. Alright, let's go ahead and get everything cleaned up. And we can go ahead and turn that off. Go ahead and turn off all of our de-icing. Everything's good there. Landing or taxi light is on, and ignition can go ahead and come back to auto. And let's go ahead and taxi on over to our hangar. And this is usually where our hangar would be, right over in here. But no one has really redone this airport, and it is a small airport, so we're just going to go ahead and park her usually about right here. So we will go ahead and set our parking brake. Parking brake is set, and we can go ahead and bring it on down to feather. And we can go ahead and turn off the ignition, and we can go ahead and turn off our taxi lights, and we'll leave our nav lights on. Strobe lights can come off, and gyros can all come off. EFIS can come off. Radio masters can come off. AP master trims can come off. Bleed is off, and fan flow is off. Air conditioning is all off, and we can go ahead and go to low idle. And we can go to idle cutoff. And perfect. And we can go ahead and generator comes off and battery is off. And crash bar can come down. Alright, well, we made it back safely to Springfield, Missouri. Appreciate everybody sticking around and watching with us. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them for you, but be looking out for the new panels as they start to come out. Be coming out in a couple days, so we will see you guys all on the next stream. Have a good night, everybody.